I'm so good at dividing things. Divide! 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 Divide? Divide! Division hurts!
There's actually some tricks to make division a little easier.
Are there any tricks to make my hand feel better?
Nope, but let's go learn something.
Now, twos are very important to know, but super easy to learn. Guess what? If a number is even, you can always divide it by 2. All the even numbers can be divided by 2. All of them. And you know a number is even if it ends in a 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? Division, that's who. So let's check some numbers. Oh, that's a big number, 3,684. We gotta check, is it even? Does it end in a 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8? Yes, it ends in a 4, so it is even. We can divide by 2. What about this one, 1,738? Does it end in a 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8? Yes, it does, so this would also be even. It could be divided by 2. And finally, 4,683. Is it even? It ends in a 3. This is not divisible by 2. So, if a number is even, you can always divide that thing by 2. Now, threes, they're a bit different. So hang on, because it's about to get wild. Now, dividing threes is not as easy as twos. You still gotta know your threes. However, there is a nice little division trick that helps you with the larger numbers. Now, we should be able to look at 9 and see that it can be divided by 3. Because we know that 3 can fit in 9 3 separate times. But what about a number like 126? Can we ever solve such a number? Now, the key to threes is taking these larger numbers and breaking them down into something more manageable. Now, how do I see if this is divisible by 3? Well, you have to find the sum of your term and see if that is divisible by 3. Now, 1 plus 2 plus 6 gives us a sum of 9. Can 9 be divided by 3? Of course it can. Now, does this tell us how many times 3 fits into 126? No, but at least we know it can. Ooh, another big number. But we can break this down. We find the sum of the term, 1 plus 0 plus 8 plus 0 equals 9. Can 9 be divided by 3? Or this, 789. If I add it together, 7 plus 8 plus 9 equals a sum of 24. Can 24 be divided by 3? Yes! Oh, 202. 2 plus 0 plus 2 gives us a sum of 4. Can 4 be divided by 2? No. So, we know things are divisible by 3 when we find the sum of the term and see if that new number is divisible by 3. Why was 5 feeling odd? It's because he couldn't find his other half. Don't worry, the divisibility rule for 5s isn't as terrible as that joke. Let's just pause and think of our 5s for a second. Look, you got 2 options. It either ends in a 5 or it ends in a 0. It ends in a 5 or a 0. So, if a number ends in a 5 or a 0, it can always be divided by 5. So let's check. Are these numbers divisible by 5? 1980, great year. Does it end in a 5 or a 0? Yes. Can be divided by 5. 546. Does it end in a 5 and a 0? No. Can't be divided by 5. 3,275. Does it end in a 5 or a 0? Yes. It can be divided by 5. Finally, 425,670. Does it end in a 5 or a 0? Yes. So it can be divided by 5. Guess what? 9s and 3s have the same divisibility rule. Well, you still gotta know how to divide by 9s, but it's the same divisibility rule. We find the sum of our term and see if it is divisible by 9. Now, 2 plus 0 plus 7 plus 9 equals a sum of 18. Can 18 be divided by 9? Of course. Well, what about 4,050? 4 plus 0 plus 5 plus 0 equals the sum of 9. Can 9 be divided by 9? You betcha. Now, 1,243, if I find the sum of the term, 1 plus 2 plus 4 plus 3, it would equal a sum of 10. Can 10 be divided by 9? No! So now you can conquer your 9s just like you conquered your 3s. Now 10s, they might be the hardest thing to divide of all. It's that easy. All 10s end in a 0. So is 340 divisible by 10? Yes, because it ends in a 0. Now you might be asking yourself, Mr. Hot Dog, what about all these other numbers like 4 and 6 and 7 and 8? Well, I hate to break it to you, but not all numbers have very easy divisibility rules. But 4, 6, and 8, they're all even numbers, so you can always divide them by 2. And then there's prime numbers, the spooky ones. They can only be divided by themselves or 1.